Welcome to the first installment of the GMR Podcast. On today's show, Gene, Marty, and Ray discuss everything from The Hobbit to Jimi Hendrix to crocodiles.
No.
Remember in the extended edition, they see the frozen trolls, right? And my brother said in The Hobbit, they're different looking trolls, and they're not in the same countryside where they were.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the movie.
What do you call that? Continuity.
Continuity problems. Also, welcome to the inaugural episode of what is this? GNM in the PM on your PC, because it's a PC.
Something like that.
I listened to a couple of those Tell 'em Steve Daves, and I realized it is cliche to have your first episode be what is the title of the podcast.
I don't remember. Was that the name of the first podcast? Tell 'em Steve Dave?
Well, their show was called Joint Counter Joint at
really?
first, but then they decided to call it Tell 'em Steve Dave because it made it more accessible to the built-in name. And you might be saying, this is on YouTube, how is this a podcast? Well, just Google how to turn YouTube into an MP3. It's real easy to do. And then you can turn this into an actual MP3 that you can put in your iPod or Zune, and it's a podcast.
The Kevin Smith podcast you gave me, those are actual podcasts on my iPod. Though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he puts them up there for free. He's got money, so he can put on iTunes and shit. We have no money, so our stuff goes right to YouTube.
And NFL has a new thing that's going to be with iTunes this season.
Really?
Yeah, 2013-2014 season iTunes NFL.
Huh.
I have no idea.
It's another way to make more money.
Really, huh?
So as you can see if it's picking you up or not.
Yeah.
If that,
They don't want to do a test and see how. All right.
Yeah, because you can see. Yeah.
Like Ray is louder than anybody. We can see that.
Well, is it recording right now?
Yeah, because we were talking, so I decided to record.
Oh!
We're going to try to do these every Friday.
All right. Let's talk about the Hobbit
and the beginning of the year is
the
first good time to start doing it. First Friday of the year, 2013 or 1993, if you want to refer it that way. We get another chance to do 1993 again, but do it right this time.
This time, no Waco.
But
Phoenix Comic-Con.
We'll be doing our podcast from ComiCon on that Friday from the hotel room. We'll record it up there and then upload
be beautiful.
it. So.
And the room is quadruple?
The room's a quadruple. It's booked.
Fuck yeah!
Staying at the Hyatt again.
Upgrading. Every year we're upgrading.
Yes.
Year one.
3 days. Year one, yeah.
Year one, we no room, drove up there, walked around everywhere till we couldn't walk anymore, till I couldn't walk anymore.
Oh, wow.
And then we were like, let's go home. Did everything we understood about Comic-Con, we did, which was basically the floor.
Yeah, we didn't do any
so this is your
no panels or anything.
This is your third one.
Yeah.
Third Phoenix.
I had a clue.
You guys.
I never understood what was happening at that first Comic-Con until I got home and read the program. Yeah, and there was just everything is happening at Comic-Con.
So I hate to say this, but this is year one for me, and I'm going in style.
Yeah. It's like our Coachella replacement. We used to spend half $1,000 a piece going to Coachella.
Dude, not even a half.
And now you don't have to do that. This is much more affordable.
Podcast people, almost $1,000 we would drop.
Oh, jeez. that's a whole podcast into itself.
That first time I went to Coachella, Gene, me and Marty put all that cash together to see how much cash we had on the table. It was like, it's almost $2,000 right here.
And when we got home and
there was nothing left.
We might have had $100 left or something. But this is much better.
That's crazy.
And you know what?
It is. It was fun, but it's like going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
I'm going to Comic-Con next year because I had no fucking probation to fucking worry.
That's right. You are a free and clear.
I'm off of probation, dude.
Nice.
After 4 years, dude.
Time, Ray.
You can look at this as also like a little bit of Call Me Crazy in there, a little bit into television in there. Because doing live TV once a month.
And random access.
And random access. Doing live TV once a
We're
month.
all
It's
together again.
not enough time. We need a weekly program, and podcasting is the.
And
the
I'm
way
not
it's
able to
going
go
now.
to the
It's the
once a month
future.
Saturday.
Exactly.
It's difficult.
I want to.
There's some Saturdays that I'm like, fuck, I don't feel like going down
That's I was
there.
just about to say.
But
You-
I'm obligated,
Yeah.
and so I do it.
With the
And luckily,
podcast, you
some
can do whatever you feel
A
like.
lot of those times it's been like, usually, a couple times been the same days when Marty's like, I don't feel like hanging out tonight either. And I'm like, wow, phew,
Mm-hmm.
good, because now I don't feel like the fucking loser. I think as though some of this is really low on our thing, man.
You can move on up.
I can.
So how's
it's
the
the
quality
first one. Well,
on the playback?
well, see, you're going into the
You're
red
through
there.
the roof, Ray. That's
Wow.
the thing. You're
You
loud
want to
as
get
hell.
it right in there.
Okay.
This is the same program we use down to record our stuff down at the jam space, man.
Oh yeah, you use Audacity.
Hi,
Yeah.
you call me Quiet.
Good
That's
program.
the same,
Quiet.
same exact thing.
Quiet.
That one premiered this week.
We're trying to, I don't know, TC was experimenting with some new software last time I saw him, but
So, Mark, I'm sorry. Can you put this on my iPod next week?
Of course, it's a podcast.
Oh, okay, because then I can listen to it. Well, oh, yeah, all right. Because
there's a new Star Trek movie?
Yeah, coming out in the-
Rapid
Wow.
right about the
The
time.
Rapid-Con.
Well, it's called something Into Darkness.
That was the
But
best.
I heard the plot.
Yeah, the plot is about Khan, but that's not the title.
What's the title?
Something like Descent into Darkness. We'll probably get all these responses. No, you idiot! It's
Oh,
this.
yeah, we gotta set up a place for people to respond or whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll leave in the YouTube forums can be the nastiest of all forums.
This is really cool, this podcast. This is
I
my,
just,
Into the
I just
future.
this is my Call Me Crazy first foray into podcast.
All of us.
it's the future, man.
Fuck
Yeah, listening to Kevin, a Smodcast just made me think, I should finish a thought before I go on to another thought. But it made me think, wow, this is really cool because like Ming Chen, who works at Jay and Son and Bob's Secret Stash, or the Secret Stash, he's doing like 4 podcasts a day or something.
That guy's busy.
Insane. Enough that is driving Walter crazy, at least on some of the episodes I was listening to. I'm pretty
He's
far
probably
behind.
just get to work and stop doing
I was
podcasts.
just like, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that?
Well, Ming was the original super fan, so he's got that spirit to him.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's like the technical guy. They want him. I don't know. Wouldn't you fucking do it too if you got the kind of response that he was getting? Who knows, man? A couple people are gonna listen to this probably. Huh?
Maybe one day we will be on iTunes.
Well, I can't wait to hear this next week. It's going to be weird. I'll be on the Suntrail and I'll be like, listen, you guys talk.
We're gonna have to check this out.
But you guys aren't on the bus. I'll be
Let's
like,
see what kind of technical issues are gonna be. Because this might just be so much shit. Who knows?
It sounds all right. I tested it before. It's the same way we do the Pondo Theater when we talk over the movies.
Yeah, I've been every time.
So it comes out.
My tapes keep getting cut off in the last 10 minutes. I
Oh.
never get to finish any of these movies.
So
Dude.
you still don't know how.
I don't know how Master Ninja 4 ends. And what was the last one you showed?
Rocket Attack USA.
Rocket Attack USA. What the fuck happens? I want to know.
It's funny that since we have on demand with accesstucson.org now, they've essentially turned all those shows into podcasts because you can just click on them and watch them on your
which is
computer.
a better thing, right?
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
more
so-
access.
So Call Me Crazy is
Access
kind of a
is-
I
video
guess so,
podcast.
huh?
Yeah.
You're around even live. What am I trying to say? You've been streaming live for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well,
we've
not
been
years,
doing that
but
for
at least a few months.
a long time. Oh, a decade or more.
Well, since they really fixed it, though.
Yeah, but back in the day, it would work sometimes.
But right now, that one
Now it
channel,
works
they got
smooth.
their shit
Yeah.
together, man. Since Lisa Horner has taken over that place, it runs a lot smoother,
Mhm.
you know? It's unfortunate there's no money there to keep it open more days a week. I don't know, even if they're, like, if you had $1 million and said, here's $1 million, think they keep it open every day of the week?
That could keep them going for a while, but,
Not-
it'll run out like everything else. I like how it
There's
feels
always
like
cars,
the beginning again.
There
now.
are always cars in that parking lot, you know. But they're there for Channel 12, and I think they're doing classes as well on those days. I really don't know. I guess I should volunteer.
And the only people that are down there are people who really want to do TV now.
And
which is very few
people.
Which is very few.
Yeah.
But you never see them because they live in the basement.
Yeah, we can't go in the basement anymore.
And they're probably there. Yeah, it's locked. There's a
Boy,
lock
do
in the
we have
elevator.
stories about the basement, though.
Joe Seidel lived in the basement. That's a good story.
It's like walking in.
There were motion detectors on the top 2 floors back in 20 years ago, something like that.
It's like
not in the basement.
So,
plus, there was the engineers' fucking room way in the back before Master. Yeah.
It was just nothing but circuits and.
You did your first little video thing.
That's
right.
Yeah.
That's the day we met. Okay.
You were doing grip on that
was the day
project.
We met. Fred was like, "Hey, this kid."
When Cliff and I were trying to remake the Party Animal movie over 20 years ago, well, Fred was video field production certified. He could run the camera, and Gene was the grip that day. I still have that footage. That's some of the footage that survived, actually.
And it's almost 20 years, huh?
And over 20 years.
At some point, eventually, we can link, video files to the thing we're talking about. You can watch the video file I'm going to link,
It's well over 20 years ago.
Dude. Well over, yeah, because it's 2013, the first year that doesn't have the same numbers in it since 1987. Because we'd always had 99 or 2 numbers showing up. So
and also too when I saw the news on January 1st, every year I go through this thing where it's like I look at the number and it's 2013, and it's like
they don't waste a second.
Yeah,
they can't. They can't.
But it happens every year, and Marty does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't find out about it until like a year ago. It's like
what? Do you guys have takes you a while to figure out, or do you physically hit yourself?
Well,
people can't see you. Do you physically hit yourself
on January 1st, watching the end credits of the news, and it says 2013, and you're like, what? It's like, well, yeah, it's a new year now.
20 years ago on New Year's,
somebody was doing their job.
Yeah, when I tried to kill myself.
I still remember the last time I saw you in like October '92, and then I didn't see you again until early '94.
94?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah. Right before the Alleyway show started up, actually.
Alleyway show. More like adventures.
Since I was going down to the studio right after that happened. Or back in... I was going...
And I was suspended from the studio at that time.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You weren't allowed.
So I wasn't going down there.
How did we get together again?
You got my phone number. And you said you were living at wherever, and it was that first place that was way back. It wasn't the Poozy Gallery. It was somewhere towards the south side.
In the barrio?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Mark Brady?
It was you, and I remember Kevin Sloan would come over every now and then, but it was real brief. You ended up in the Poozy Gallery right after.
I was living next door to Joe Matuso, me and Mark Brady.
Oh, that's right. I never saw Mark when I went over, but I only went over like 2 or 3 times.
It was on Kennedy Street in the barrio.
Mm.
In a fucking old adobe place. It was totally like decrepit, falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Matuso and Tony Rossetti were living next door.
The Magic Mouse.
Magic Mouse. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. It's also nice that you don't have to worry about video. You don't have to worry about what you look like or what the set looks like.
I've been doing it for so long, live TV. I still get this feeling like
I've been doing it since I was like 3, walking around with a cassette recorder and tormenting people and recording myself. Basically, I was podcasting since I was, since I could hit record on the tape deck. We just didn't know it was called podcasting.
We've all been podcasting.
Webisode.
Mm-hmm.
And See, these are new names that it was not around in the communication technology.
The terms are new, but what they are is not new.
Reboot.
Reboot.
Wow, I wish I could be as loud as Ray all the time.
Mm-hmm. Don't we all?
I'm just looking at Ray as I
He
feel like
always
I
goes
gotta
into
catch
Ray.
up.
But
Hey, what's going on, Ray?
But the only reason I talk so loud because I don't hear so well.
Mhm.
Ah,
No one ever realizes that. Only the
I
smart
do
people.
realize that, dude. But why do you think you have to talk louder
People are
for us to
recording
hear
it
you?
It's a physiological thing.
Yeah, okay, I understand that happens. It just
I always thought you didn't realize that you were getting louder and louder and louder, and you go, wait, and you go, oh, I didn't realize I'd gotten that loud. And
Like I say, it always goes back to me not hearing, and I'm assuming that no one can hear,
remember 10 years ago when we gave you the headphones on the TV show?
Yeah. Vicky.
Yeah, we stopped that gimmick for some reason. That was when
Vicky.
we were doing politically incorrect.
That's right. That one we're
Vicky
serious.
which Vicky?
Evans, I believe.
The one who's at the front desk?
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, she was always on
I
top
mean,
of
I was
the headphones.
missing
Oh,
Dawn.
Razor.
We had Dawn. You know, we should all talk louder around Ray. I never think that you have trouble hearing, Ray. I always forget that.
And people think, why are you leaning into me? It's like, dude, I can't hear what the fuck you're saying. I'm sorry, but...
I just don't talk that loudly most of the time anyway. And since I'm now the singer in this band, I've had to learn to project, and I need to do it because I'm a singer. I sing in this band called Dilly Gaff. You've heard of us, right, Ray? Steve-O, our drummer, has his, like, every time you call him, there's like these 3 songs. He has his, like, his ring,
Oh, yeah.
while you're waiting for him to answer. These songs are playing. He had to put, I'm going to tell him he needs to put one of our songs on there because I'm getting tired of his old, the songs I'm hearing, every time I call them, they're starting to stick in my head. I don't necessarily like these songs. They're okay.
Marty tells me that you guys practice at the old AT&T Mountain Valley building.
Yeah.
I used to practice there. Well, James in 02. And that's when they had first opened. It was still carpet in there, and it was still nice. Our room was...
I'm going to live there. That's my next apartment. That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to get a bunch of, what do you call them, filing cabinets. I'm going to put everything in a goddamn filing cabinet, and I'll get one of those walls of CDs where you can put, like, 10,000 CDs. You've seen that shit.
Oh,
you order them
yeah.
I don't know where you order them, but I've seen them. They exist.
Mm-hmm.
You get them at, like, what's the high-end fucking catalogs?
Yeah, and you can get anything online.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, that's my dream. That's my fantasy. And then I hear there's a washing machine somewhere in this building. And a shower. So
you got everything.
And the people who fucking are running the place, I met the manager, the fucking guy who's in charge. He's pretty cool. Everybody down there is pretty cool. It's the coolest place in the world. Yeah. That's a moment of silence. There should never be silence. Look at that.
Well, it's like the TV show.
Look at that.
We all get quiet at the same
as it
time.
drags by.
You can see the silence. We can
Exactly. It makes it a physical
Not the
thing,
sound
dude.
of silence, but
It's the
sight.
sound of silence.
Right
There it
there.
is. Look at it. It was physically a long time, dude.
The
Physically,
sight of silence.
it's a real
It's like a
thing.
heartbeat.
Exactly. We can never let
EKG.
that thing go that far.
Mhm.
Dude. That was too far.
Brainwaves.
But this is the first time we've ever attempted
Exactly.
something like this, so it should get tighter.
Home studio.
By episode 100, this will just be non-stop. We'll have fucking
I bet you after we
laptops
hear
we'll be
it
sitting
on our
there.
own.
Next year, this time, 53 episodes already. But as you're saying,
Once I hear myself on there for the next podcast, I'll be like, oh, I know how to be composed. Because I don't,
how it's coming out.
because with the cameras, I see the video camera and I can express myself and move and but with the podcast, it's like more, okay.
It's like radio, kind of.
And who hasn't always wanted to have their own radio show?
Exactly. Now
The
everybody
only difference is we're not playing music.
That's true. It's talk radio.
That'd be an alternate. That'd be like a sub thing. If you're into this, you might want to hear our radio show where we play music.
Exactly.
Maybe someday if we ever got this shit works out, we're doing like 15 different things.
20 years ago, you could not do
Marty's
talk
always going to
radio
live here.
like everybody does right now.
But the closest was the public access or the KXCI.
Yeah, but
community
what I'm
radio.
saying, now anybody with a computer can be talk radio.
We don't even have to go by tape.
At all, huh?
And the nice thing, it's just a sound file. Tiny little file, doesn't take up any space. Simple. Going and buying that expensive
On a budget
tape.
of zero, then pretty much.
Pretty much on a budget of zero. Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it also reminds me of that urban legend story of how to beat the urine test by microwaving the urine first. And the urban legend of how the person walked into a... This is an urban legend I read on the internet.
Where do you hear... Oh,
I read this online.
Gene, you gotta listen to this.
I read this online somewhere. You probably heard. They walked into a convenience store and they heated up their urine in the microwave and they got distracted and it started bubbling over.
Okay.
And so they just left at that point. They panicked and left.
Who panics when your urine is...
Okay. And the worst part about it...
That was the story?
The microwave, it started...
Since we're talking about bodily functions now.
Right, and
why would it backfire?
Because the urine was like falling into the holes in the microwave.
You know, and then...
Have you ever put it like water in the microwave and then it bubbles over?
And nothing had in a plastic cup.
It's just the thought of the contamination.
But the point was the cashier ran over, and he said urine was going over the counter, landing onto the tile.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I wish I could have seen that.
Well, urban myth.
I have to recreate that. Isn't it called Mythbusters, dude?
Did that really happen? If we see them at ComiCon, then we'll ask them in person.
Really
I don't like Mythbusters. You know why? I got the video from the library maybe a year ago, and I was like, okay, I'm going to check it out.
It's amazing what you can check out in the library.
Right? You can check out anything. But I could not watch it. You know why? No subtitles.
No subtitles.
History Channel, no subtitles.
Some of the...
Mythbuster, Storage Wars, no title. Hoarder, no subtitle. It's just like...
Some of the lower companies don't spring for it. It's too expensive.
And once I see it, it's like I take it off and I take it back. It's ruined. It's freaking ruined.
You know, problem is, though, the subtitles are not always in sync with what they're actually saying.
No.
Very true.
Only on foreign
film.
a
lot of shit.
Foreign films.
Like,
I'm an expert on subtitles, dude. And foreign film has that tendency where they're not lined up. But the American subtitles are pretty perfect, dude.
Yeah, but...
let me tell you this, because I'm watching
It's similar but off. Because I always leave the captions up on TV.
I'm saying they're what I'm saying is they're totally putting false things on there. Stuff that's not even being said. Or they're cutting like chunks of shit out.
But wait a minute, what was
they're
that?
misspelling shit.
But that's the lower end productions, though.
Back in the 80s, or the early 90s
we should
or
provide
70s,
captions for
when you
this
had
show.
closed captioning, right? Not that TVs had that option back then, but back
in the day, you had to get a box.
You had to get a
or
device.
something
You had to get
And even then, the closed captioning now is awful.
Back then there was
HDNet, and I mean HD.
It's all like rolling over itself.
Well, these people doing it today are uneducated. They can't spell. They don't even know what that guy really said.
So they just guess and
they're paraphrasing.
Dude,
back in the day, it was very focused.
It's not real shorthand. You know what shorthand is? That's not real shorthand.
There was a time when what they're saying on the screen matched up, and there is still, like in movies and shit, quite often they'll actually take the time. You know, whoever's doing it is. I think people are so uneducated today because of texting and shorthand.
And yet you have spell check. Use it.
But we never had spell check when we were kids, and we had that shit down.
But you have it now.
I mean, me and Marty were the smartest kids in class, and we
it's
never
not always going to be perfect spell check, because sometimes you wrote a word that's actually a word, it's spelled right, but it's the wrong word. Spell check's not going to tell you that. So.
But we were.
You know,
You get 5 minutes on the Apple computer in 1985.
And even then,
like,
you would just
what could you do?
junk.
You couldn't do anything. You know, you type
It
a
was
few
just,
things.
it was just basically a word process.
And it's just like, wow. And
what
now we're
happens?
podcasting. Well, you know, it's
It's
goes to
television.
sleep.
It's live television. We're sitting here in an alley all night.
Mhm.
But so,
without the music in the background playing so loud, you can't
What?
understand what we're saying.
okay.
But like what? What
You
are
can hear us now.
what is Carl Sagan if he was alive now? What would
What?
he be thinking?
Well, I'd listen
What
to
would
his
he be thinking? He'd
podcast.
be, holy shit, I'm alive. I'm alive.
It's
That's what I would
2013.
For all we know,
Why
he's
am I
alive on
still
another
alive?
planet.
Well, he is still alive. You can't die.
I'm convinced that Jimi Hendrix on Mars. So.
What did Jimi Hendrix say? Remember my favorite Jimi Hendrix song is "If 6 Were 9." That's my favorite Jimi Hendrix
That's
song.
a pretty good one,
That's,
Gene.
that's it.
That's a good one.
Wouldn't that be weird? Wouldn't that be really odd if one day all of a sudden you realize that 6 was 9?
Okay,
You're like, what?
if Jimi Hendrix
Six
wrote
is
Manic
nice.
It's like
Depression,
saying you know nothing, kind of. Is what that-
Exactly. And isn't that really what it's all about?
Mhm.
if Jimi Hendrix wrote Manic Depression and he rewrote it now, would it be called bipolar?
Would he be politically correct?
You have to be like it's not Manic Depression no more. It's
No,
bipolar.
I don't think Jimi
It'd be
Hendrix was
remix.
politically correct.
It'd be a mashup.
Jimi Hendrix was he used to wear boas. Jimi Hendrix was a god. He was here for a very short time to teach us things.
Mm-hmm.
He was a reincarnated
I,
master.
dude, he had the hand of God on him, dude. Like
Exactly.
Leonardo da Vinci had the hand of God, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Even today, when I listen to Hendrix, I hear stuff on there. It's like, how did he do that?
Mm-hmm.
And how come nobody done it since? It's
Because they're not Jimi
I
Hendrix.
know,
Now,
but
let me ask you
They
guys
don't
this
think
question.
the same way. Their musical functioning.
but me and Duncan think like that sometimes.
Well, it's like every sculptor and painter is different, you know. But yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. See, this is hard because we talk over each other. But let me ask you this: did Jimi Hendrix get drafted, or did he join the army?
He joined when he was 17.
And he was basically he was a parachuter.
Yes, but he did
That
not
was
break
his
an ankle.
training.
That was a fabrication.
That was his training.
Mm-hmm.
But he ended up being in the fucking in the band,
That was
right?
the only reason he joined.
He realized that. Is that what they told him when he joined? They were like, "Hey, join up and you can be in the band." They probably did. And
That's
he was
the
in
reason
the
he
band.
joined.
Mm.
That was his
in
first
the band.
band. Was that his first band?
No, well, his first band was
Who
the
knows that? That's what I was asking. Do you guys
Well,
remember?
I'm
he was
sure
a-
somebody out there has already looked it up on
Dude,
Wikipedia
he was a
listening
backup
to this.
musician for Little Richard. There's video footage
Before
of
he joined the
Jimi
army?
So
Hendrix.
we have some of the songs.
Yeah, where he has short hair, he's wearing a suit,
Before he joined the
and he's
army?
doing that Little Richard
Mhm.
thing. Dude, get the backup player.
How old was he when he joined the army, Ray?
He was 17.
And so he's playing with Little Richard when he
After.
was 16? After, okay, after.
And then after that, he had a band called Jimmy James and the Blue Flames.
Wow.
That's when Little Richard said, "You know what?
Wow.
You're too good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Go get your own gig."
Yeah.
Little
Because
Richard.
Hendrix always switched up the parts. And everyone's like,
No,
He's
we
taking
wanna
it to
play a
new
standard
levels. Yeah.
type of music.
And so he did Jimmy Jam and the Blue Flame. Then legend has it that Chas Chandler from the Animal saw him at the fucking Fillmore East and said, "Dude, you gotta come to London." When all those guys heard "Hey Joe" for the first time, their jaw dropped. Because that's what they were
Yeah, he
all
didn't even
hearing,
write
and they
that
couldn't
song.
accomplish it.
Who
Dude.
wrote Hey Joe?
Huh?
Who originally wrote Hey Joe?
"Hey Joe" is written.
Because that's
It's an 80-year-old song.
I know, that's what I'm asking.
So it's
Jimi Hendrix-
like a standard.
It's a
It's a standard,
horrible,
yes.
horrible song, right?
Well, lyrically
Hey,
about what's
Joe.
happening in the
Yeah,
song.
why
Yeah.
Shooting your old lady down.
You're not supposed to shoot your old lady down.
But that's why they write a song about it, to say that you're not supposed to do this. It's blues.
I would love to hear all the different versions.
Got
If you
decapitated
could
by
ever,
a train
if you
blues.
could track down more original versions of
Probably, yeah.
It's one of those
older
Lead Belly
versions.
songs.
that kind of, yeah.
So in that era,
Yeah.
it's one of the prison chain gang songs that they wrote. Because What are you in here for? I shot my old lady down because we were messing around. My favorite version is a mariachi version of Hey Joe.
Oh. Wow. What's
Yeah.
that sound like, Ray?
Awesome. Awesome.
Mariachi.
Uh-huh. Hey Joe mariachi, dude. Yeah. Awesome.
This might be a good time for me to ask this question. What the fuck is mariachi music all about, Ray? I don't understand it. I mean, it's but it seems like it's all the same.
But what people don't realize...
Is it like AC/DC?
No.
Well, in that respect, yeah.
Because it's all the same continual song.
I know what that genre of music is.
And I enjoy it. Because it seems like it's hugely popular. Like, I'll hear people driving around and they're
polka or something,
it.
Gene, like polka.
I don't understand polka either.
It's like that. It's like that.
But you got to remember,
and I'm white.
Punk is the same thing, though, right? Punk is it's not music. It's a lifestyle.
I don't like a lot of forms of music. We're building on a wave
exactly.
here. We're just starting to push it. Yeah, the wave.
We're like the little butterfly that's going to cause the hurricane.
I like it's the first Friday of the year.
13 is going to be
Try
our
something
year,
new
guys.
this year.
13. We're going to ComiCon in style.
Mm-hmm.
We're riding a fucking wave, and that'll just be halfway through the year.
Yeah.
That'll be we're not even going to crest at that point. This time next year, we'll be on such a fucking... We'll be making money. We'll be doing something, dude. I'll have gone on tour. I hope. Steve-O bought a van.
Yeah,
he bought a fucking van with 2 gas tanks. Comic-Con's going to be off the fucking hook, dude.
Mm-hmm. This year's going to be pretty awesome. We have to do 3 days this time. We've never done... The first year, 1 day.
We have to get...
Last year, 2 days. This year, 3 days.
We have to get the program early this year.
So
we can make a plan.
They don't have it up yet, but since we got our passes, we have access to it as soon as it goes up.
Yeah, well, that's good. Right?
Yeah.
Remember, what was the name of my fake band, dude?
Your fake band?
Well, we used to go on tour.
The reboot?
I talked about it on your show all the time. Fucking Raging Steel. Raging Steel. We went on tour all the time, but there were no other people in the band. It was all in my mind. Now, I have JJ.
Now it's real.
Steve-O. My last girlfriend, she was deaf, and she could read lips.
She probably had a whole lifetime of just...
No. Why? When did you, you weren't originally...
I was
born with...
Yeah, but, birth defects.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So... But you also understand Spanish, right?
Yeah, I'm bilingual, yeah. Okay,
so that would be like a whole 2 different kinds of lip reading, right?
I guess so, Gene. I never even thought about that either, Gene.
Maybe
that's why I never cared for it. It's like too much work.
It's going to be confusing. Now you got to learn. And how do you know which language they're talking? You know, it would be confusing to read lips bilingually, or like be able to read lips in like five different languages.
That's like secret agent shit.
Or NFL coaches. Mm-hmm. That's why you see them do this now. They all cover their mouth, dude. They're like. Those people up there in the fucking stadiums are really good, dude. They're like...
You got to, man, because there's nowhere to hide anymore. Everywhere you are, people are looking at you, man.
Dude, your picture is being taken everywhere now.
Except right now, because the podcast, there's no picture.
How weird is that?
We'll have to come up with not only a theme song,
you see that unpainted screw right there?
Oh, that's where
the government camera is. And there's one out there, and your smoke alarm. Mm-hmm. All smoke alarms are video recording devices.
It's like Dennis Reynolds. You're always being recorded.
Exactly. And still our power grows.
Well, Kevin Smith said, on January 1st, try something different this year. Get yourself out of your box. And it's like, we were already thinking that same thing, and we didn't stop and think about it, we just did it. Start talking, hit record, bam, there it is. Next thing you know, you're doing the show.
Well, so
that make us podcasters?
Or podcast. We've always been, but we're official now.
Okay, so not only are we writer, producer, director, but...
And then in March, your Call Me Crazy turns 15 years old.
Wow, Ray.
from your first episode with Mad Cow Virus all the way, you're coming up on your 300th show soon.
Incredible, man.
Mm-hmm. It's a big year.
It's like how I can see how the people in Rolling Stone is like, it's been 50 years since we've been starting.
50 years.
50 years.
That's crazy, and they're still.
Mick Jagger.
Did they wrap up that tour? Because I know that they said this is our last tour, right?
Dude, they've been saying that for 20
like
years.
That's what you
Dylan
say
never
every
ending
year.
tour.
Yeah, that's how you get extra ticket sales.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old wrestling
Did you
gimmick.
see the combined
You can't
years
have a
of 300
comeback tour
years?
if you don't.
The combined
go
years
away
of
for a
age
while.
is 300.
That's fun. That's fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mick Jagger's 72 and all pumping up and shit.
So
Good
you gotta
for him,
do when
man.
you're 72.
Dude, you feel like that kid though.
Mhm.
If you have that lifestyle, if you can live that lifestyle,
Of course
you
you'd be
never
viral.
feel. You don't
Girl
wake up.
and-
You don't wake up.
Viral.
You don't wake
Viral and
You know, like, or, you know, like you and I, you guys probably wake up every now and then and feel like, oh, I feel a little bit older now, you know, a little bit. Oh, well, what's going on here?
Every
Weird thing. Yeah, what the fuck's going on? But when you're living a rock and roll lifestyle, every day you're doing the exact same thing you did the day before. When you got that band that's just rolling, you know, you got an agent. You got people who every day you can't get old when you live that
You don't have
lifestyle.
time to
Look
stop
at
and get old.
AC/DC.
Paul
Mhm.
McCartney
This
was
guy-
the same way.
Mhm.
It's shocking to see AC/DC and see that Malcolm Young and fucking Angus are doing the exact same thing they were doing 30-something years ago.
Mhm.
Haven't changed a bit. You know, they're like Robert Gonzalez, but he looks really old. And he's doing different shit. He's into, I don't know what the fuck Robert Gonzalez is into.
He was on
Because I
that
haven't
show
seen
with
him in
Kelsey
years.
Grammer
I
with
know.
Boss,
And he
and
looked
that
like-
HD made him look old.
And he worked for NASCAR for a
Well,
while.
he
You know
told
what?
I should
HD
show
is not
you
going to
the.
make any of us look
I should
good,
show you
dude.
the show Robert sent out. He tells the story about how he got on the Boss
I
show.
would like to see that, dude.
He was basically said he was homeless at the time, and they told him, "Don't go down there, dude. You look all messed up. They're not going to let
And
you
that's
on."
what they're
and sure
looking
enough,
for.
he got picked.
You're the weird. I think I could be, if I did that kind of shit, went to all the
all the casting
auditions,
calls and stuff.
like I see it in the paper sometimes. If I went to all those auditions, I think I could, somebody would say, hey, look at that weird fuck. Let's put him in the background.
Mhm.
Right?
Tucson's very own Danny Trejo.
Ray used to look like a freak.
I'm always gonna look like that.
Back in those, when you were doing that thing with
Ray's
Gonzalo, Robert.
Ray's probably had more hairstyles on the show than any of us.
When
I've
you-
often thought of putting a collage together of all the different throughout the years,
Well, let's do
and you'd
that.
be like, I
We're
don't even
gonna do
remember
that.
that one.
And the beard
Mhm.
This-
Oh
and
yeah,
mustache, and I do a gold.
shaved or blonde or long or gel or something.
And how about the caps?
Oh, variety of hats over the years. No hat today. Well, you had the beanie on. And as soon as I saw the beanie, I said, "Yep, it's 1993.
Yeah.
Ray's wearing a beanie."
I was like, I love Captain America, but I wore Captain America cap I had last Christmas when I got it into this Christmas, the whole year.
That was
I was like, I guess like no more Captain America cap.
And that's why certain hats disappear or certain shirts will disappear. On
because
Call Me Crazy, you'll see some same shirts a couple times, but some shirts you only see once or twice, and you'll never see them ever again.
to be honest,
that's because I went on a bender and it went off, and
Oh.
never again.
Never thought of it
To
that
be
way.
honest, I
And
never
I'm a
watched.
called.
I never watched your show that much, dude. I watched it enough. I remember the time I saw the
Should
one.
get Mark to start taping it.
I don't know when it's on. Yeah, well,
I'll
add
tell
it to
you.
the list.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the one where you were talking about. I knew this guy wanted to get eaten by alligators, and I was like, and back when we were still like all kind of like not aligned.
Mhm.
Our lines had severed. You know,
That's when you
We
said
had
that you wanted to be in the helicopter.
a helicopter.
Will this be dropped in?
Well, first of all,
But yeah, he was talking about you at
And
that
you were like,
Yeah, and also now alligator for
negative-
sharks
and
in
then-
the open sea was another one.
Yeah, well, that general thing, obviously, that is still true. If I'm going to die, I'd like to be eaten by an animal so I could be a part, at least I know I contributed something positive
Serving
to the
a
planet.
purpose.
Exactly.
I don't think it was feuding. It was more like hostilities.
And we were in dark times too then.
All of us.
Oh yeah, the
We are
1998
living
to
in the
2006.
dark
yeah.
ages. I haven't seen the light in what seems like ages. But my
1998
my point is, it was crocodiles. I think a
Oh.
crocodile could eat me a lot quicker than an alligator. And I'm offended that you said alligator. Because, goddamn, crocodiles, it was crocodiles. And I was very adamant about that point. And I felt like you didn't pay attention to
You
me.
think long, sharp tooth snout,
Oh,
crocodile, alligator, tomato,
crocodiles, no. There's a huge difference. And it's about 15 feet, I think.
Oh.
You ever seen one of those fucking big fucking crocs?
No,
dude?
but I did see the movie
We
Alligator.
used to watch
Don't flush 'em
Crocodile
down the
Hunter.
toilet.
Remember that dude? Crocodile Hunter.
Oh yeah,
like
now that you say, yeah, I did see
You know,
those
be
big
like-
suckers.
that
Yeah.
motherfucker would be like, "Oh, don't be doing this, right?"
Yeah, he wasn't the alligator.
Everything
hunter.
he's doing is a bat.
But where's Steve Irwin at now, though?
You would have thought he'd been eaten by a crocodile, but no, he was
the
a
stingray.
he was a crate.
All right, huh?
He was completely insane. He's like,
That mess with them
let
critters.
me go mess with animals.
He was insane then, huh? To swim along next to a
He
stingray?
loved animals. He loved animals. He wasn't
Hooked him right in
trying to
the
do
heart.
anything.
Yeah, I got him.
What do you think was going to happen? That should be my motto.
I mean, he misjudged.
What would
he
happen?
always knew that was the dangers going in, and he's probably like, well, I can't blame the stingray. It's just doing what it's supposed to
Exactly. It wasn't his fault, right? He just,
Like,
what do
oh,
you think was going to happen, mother? You go putting your fucking thumb up a fucking animal's butthole? Eventually the animal's going to turn and bite you.
do. Never tell me the odds.
Well,
And we'll see you next week. Or you'll hear us next week.
Why am I laughing?
We don't know what the outro is yet.
Closed captioning has been brought to you by.
They call me craziest.
Not responsible for the misuse of this product.
Recording!